Yes, we're back for another evening of the replay where we're still trying to make your day. Y'all ready for this? Buckle up. Let's ride. Here we go. Good evening. Welcome again to another edition of the replay. And again, we're still trying to make your day. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad, aka Real Deal Jabril. And of course, you know I got my guy, Daryl Alexander the Great, coming to the stage, joining me, my co-host. We're gonna see if Action Jackson can still pull up with us this evening, too. Good evening to you, my brother.
What's up?
We are live. We got the college season jumping off, man. We had to do this thing earlier than usual because we got the Colorado Buffaloes going up against North Dakota State University this evening. We want to come on here real quick and make sure we can get this show in for this week as we watch prime time Deion Sanders and those Colorado Buffaloes. But before we engage in any of all of our picks and what we want to talk about this evening, please hit that like, subscribe, share, and notification button for us. Again, we're still growing the channel. We are over 150 subscribers. We're doing this thing, and we're going to continue to try to bring you all the best content we possibly can. So, DA,
yes, sir.
We got to talk about it. We got several things we got to talk about, but we got the prime time Colorado Buffaloes, man. And actually, they're on the road, the second year that they're on the road, going into maybe a hostile environment down there in North Dakota, man. It's not going to be probably as easy, I don't think anyway, as some people is predicting. But what's your take on that game this evening, man?
So the circus is away this week, huh? Okay.
We're going to start this year off right, man. It's a new year. We're going to start it off right.
Yeah, I ain't starting it off phony this year, so I'm giving it to you like it go this year. I love when he engages with his Colorado team. I love to hear how he talks to those young men, and some of the things he instills in them. But to be totally honest, when he ain't talking to them, man, I can't stand to hear him talk, man. Like, God, he's just so arrogant and dismissive, and just comes across as so smug to me, man. That's the part that I juggle. I love what he does with them, with the guys, and how he I'm not gonna say coaches them, but when it comes to life, how he deals with them. He's a perfect person for that, especially young black men. But as far as coaching goes, man, I'm still not sold on it. Not wishing bad on him, but it's just, I probably got some personal issues too because of some other things going on, and just the way it's like you gotta coddle up to him, if you want to get an interview, or if you want him to like you or respect you, and that ain't how it's supposed to be. As a coach, you got to come out there and coach. You got to be able to take those tough questions. You got to be able to handle no matter what anybody says, because that's what the press does. Everybody ain't gonna love you, especially his style. His style will rub you the wrong way. So he gotta have thick skin when it comes to these reporters, man. Just because he says something I didn't like, he can't ask me no questions. Come on, man, we grown. You're in the spotlight. You getting paid the money. You got to expect this. All the other coaches go through it. You got to be able to go through it and say, bring it. Like, what you got to say, yeah, bring it. It's business. It ain't personal. It's business. But anyway, with that being said, man, I hadn't seen the team. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk, but, it's time to see a few of those fruits from last year. We talked about, last year was the first year, but we should see something. He claims he's got a lot of the issues patched up, got a better offensive line. He's got the coaches that he wanted to be surrounded with. So it's going to be a good game, man. I can't wait, man. I'm watching every play of it tonight.
Well, I tell you what, DA, and you should already finish my statement before I even say this right here. But one of the coaches I'm so glad that he got rid of. I thought he possibly got fired mid-season. And that was defensive coordinator.
97-yard slant, man.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad he got rid of Charles Kelly. I think that's his first name, Charles, Coach Charles
He
Kelly.
should. He probably have a head coach somewhere now.
Yeah, I think it he got picked up definitely. I think he went out west, one of the programs out west. But I just, again, man, to sit there and get cooked the way he did against Stanford last year, man, giving up a 80-some yard slant and not even rolling your coverage over to that wide receiver as he just going to town. It was just unbelievable, unbelievable. So they got the Cincinnati Bengals defensive back coach as a DC now, man. So hopefully I'm definitely looking for a big step in the right direction, big improvement, as well as on the offensive line as well. They still got their work cut out
Yeah.
for them a little bit. I think running the ball, but I think they got a couple recruits in on that end too. I hate to see young running back Dylan Elwes, man, leave and jump in the portal and went up to Kansas State. But it is what it is. But I do think with the recruits that he got, they'll be well prepared as always, usual. And you know, when you bring in guys like Warren Sapp, man, and other Hall of Famers, man, it's no reason why these guys should be underprepared. This thing is just about effort now. It's about going out, getting what you want. And I'm definitely looking for Shedeur Sanders. We can see, man, having a big year this year. I really do. I think he'll have much better pass protection than he had last year. And I think if he can stay, you know, upright and stay healthy, I look for them, man, to be one of those teams that make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, he's good, man. Shadu is good. You can't take nothing from that brother. I mean, I wouldn't mind having him on whatever my team was because you know he's gonna fight. He's going down with the ship. He ain't. You know what I'm saying? He's tough. He's not a gotta have a perfect situation type of quarterback. You know, because he fought last year to just like you said, stay upright. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, man, and all the hype. I just hate all of the stuff that comes with it for the players' sake. You know that it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, even with and like you say, the all of the Hall of Fame coaches. That could be that could possibly be a negative because they may just be expecting way more than I don't know. I mean, I know they're expecting a lot, but it's just pressure, man. For a 21-year-old, it's a lot of pressure to be put on you every week, every game, every practice. But we'll
Yeah.
see. And Charles Kelly is at Auburn, man. He's a co-defensive coordinator at Auburn.
Okay, that's where he is Auburn. Okay, I thought he went up west for some odd reason. I thought he had made his way up to UCLA or USC, but Auburn, good luck. They still in it. Last I checked, they still in the
Co-defensive
SEC.
coordinator.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
are still in the SEC as well. And that's a packed conference now because you got Texas and Oklahoma all over there now, man. So that's gonna be really interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting. And
That's
although they
just too much.
expanded,
Yeah.
they expanded the conference. I mean, excuse me, they expanded the playoff picture. I think I don't know how you're gonna have so many teams coming from one conference when you think about it. You
It's
know what I'm
got
saying?
it. It is what it is.
Which that's a great segue to this next question here because I did want to ask during the college playoff picture with these. I think it's 12 teams, right? Yeah, 12
Yeah.
teams. Uh, who you got? How do that look for you? And before you give me that answer, we already had one team get knocked off, Florida
My
State,
team.
your Florida State Seminoles, and you see number one Georgia's up at the top. Um, boy, I tell you something, this thing is so small right here. But you got Georgia number one, followed by Ohio State. Then you have Oregon, and then you got Texas in your top five, rounded out by Alabama number five. But again, looking at the first 12 teams, and again, one of them already knocked out. LSU was
Yeah.
on the outside, ranked at number 13. But if you had to look at the picture right now going into it, who you got? Who you think? And
As
you know
far
this
as
is fluid. We can change this later on.
as far as winning it,
As far as making it, do you see those 12 right there at the top? Those 12 teams making to the playoff, or who's your final two right now starting
I,
out?
I'll see. I'll say those. I think those first eight are locks. I can't see them losing too many games. That's going to put them outside looking in. But those last four, I'm not sure. Florida State, if you ask me, I think they're out. to lose to Georgia Tech already, you've already wasted a win that you may get 2 losses. So you've already used one of your losses. You may be able to lose 2 games and still make the top 12 if your schedule is pretty tough, but they'll mess around and lose 4. So I think those top 8 will be good to go. I can't see them losing more than 2 games.
Well, let me ask you this though, DA, because what I just stated in regards to the SEC being so packed or so stacked, they can pretty much cancel themselves out. So I'm asking, is this the year where we have or we see a team in there with 2 losses?
Yes. Okay. For sure. Especially if you're in the SEC, they can allow, because the teams are so strong in that division that you can push a 1-loss team. When you expand to 12, number 12 and number 11 and number 10, you ain't got no argument. Like, we got 12 now. So if we push you out, if you thought you should have been at 12 or 11 or 10, you don't have an argument. Those are just extras. You can't whine too much about being, oh, we thought we should have been 12. Yeah, so what? You probably should have been, but you ain't. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's one of those. It's that kind of time now, because we used to argue about 2 and number 3 and number 4. Then we argued about 5 and 6. We ain't fixing to argue about 11 and 12, 10, 11 and 12. If you get in, you do. If not, you just don't. So I can see 3. Man, it could be 3 teams from the SEC making it.
Easy. Yeah, without question.
4 wouldn't even surprise me.
Yeah, certainly without question. I certainly think, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I say, this is fluid. It's fluid.
Yeah.
I'm using what old Stephen A. say. It's fluid. It's fluid because we know we're the season is just now kicking off. But right now, man, if I had to take 2 right now, who's gonna play for the national championship, I'm gonna go with Georgia and Oregon. I'm going with Georgia and Oregon.
Slide Oregon in there like this. All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be a little biased. Not sure if they're gonna be as tough up front, but I just
did they have Bo Nix last year?
They had Bo Nix last year.
They ain't winning.
Gabriel is over there now from Oklahoma. Remember
who?
Gabriel, the quarterback. Gabriel, that played at Oklahoma.
I think Bo Nix was very underrated. I think he's even underrated in the NFL, as a matter of fact. I think he's going to be in the top 3 of rookie quarterbacks that performing this year. I was going to bring that out on one of these shows. I'll take, man, I'm going to go back I'm going to roll with Alabama, and I'm going to go Alabama and maybe Ohio State this year.
Not bad. I tell you what, if y'all come out in the chat for us and let me know who you got right now. You can change it anytime. No problem. We're gonna be selecting our picks throughout the season, but we want to know who you got. Who you think will win right now, end up in the national championship game come January 2025. So DA, we got to segue right quick, man, over to something else that we need to get into, because discussion was a hot topic, man, last week that I gotta definitely talk about. Because when I heard this, I was like, he said that? He actually said that? The conversation of Anthony Edwards, the statement that he made, right? In regards to the 90 players not having any skill. And so when I heard that, of course, you may have heard the comments with Magic Johnson. He said, I don't even talk to people never won a championship. But when I heard that, I couldn't believe he said that. I couldn't believe that he said that. But what's your take on it?
My take is Anthony Edwards, he should have learned from the playoffs this past NBA season that
right.
You just got to be quiet, because you disappeared several games when it counted. So, after running your mouth, and you got cooked, Kyrie cooked you after running your mouth. And, he ain't a new school player. He's not in that era. But he came right after that. So you need and that's what I'm about to say. A lot of these younger guys, they like to talk before they actually have proven anything. We know you can jump. We know you're athletic. You may be able to cross it over, but you can't finish. And when I mean finish, I mean get to the playoffs get in the championship game before you start running your mouth. And one thing I don't, and I actually think the guys back then were better. They may not have been better athletes, and that's because the game has changed. But think about it like this: they didn't. You could hand check, which means your offensive game had to be a little better. Like now, you can't really touch them. You can't come
Right.
down in the landing zone. Now they got a zone around them when they shoot
Right.
jump shots. You can't get close to them. Back then, they was all up under you, would knock you off your block. Now you got a charge circle where you got to be outside of this to take a charge. Back then, it was just like you coming through the lane. It's whatever. We collide. You know,
Right.
now it's flagrant. You can't foul too much. You can't get a certain amount of text. It's so much easier. Like those guys back then, they probably wouldn't have had 7-footers shooting threes or 6'8" guys shooting threes like now. But you had to be a better athlete back then, if you ask me, because you had to be tougher. You had to be able to hold your ground. And to me, the era back then was the athletes were way better. I don't know where he get off saying that. You know, just because y'all maybe can cross over, that's because you can take 3 dribbles, 4 dribbles. I mean, 3 steps, 4 steps. You can carry, palm. You can literally palm the ball. This y'all ain't no better. Y'all are actually worse.
well, let me play a little clip for my guy KG to expound upon what you just said, because this is what he said.
Yeah, let me hear it.
When they brought it to his attention.
He could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago. Straight up. The locker room was too too grown. You know.
Yeah, let me spin that from the beginning.
When you see youngsters go, man, I didn't watch, so I don't. Is it important for youngsters?
Oh, it's gonna go back to what we got to go back to Ticket's famous saying to me. You ain't watching the games, Lord. You ain't watching the games, Lord. You ain't going back watching the games, Lord. If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I don't even think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago. Straight up. The locker room was too grown. You know.
Hey man, he said so much more, DA. But let me share this real quick. You know, when I heard Ant-Man make the statement, and they always talking about how I hear him loud and clear. But when you start talking about, well, how much better these guys are, so much skilled, my take is this here. I think it's the way the game is played and what they're asked to do. Because if you're talking about, okay, none of these centers, so-called centers today, they don't bag people down in the blocks. You don't toss the ball down them to the blocks.
You got
now, are they better outside shooters? Yes. But remember, when Tim Duncan came in the league, they called him what? Big fundamental. Because he could bank, man, I'm talking about bank shots. It was like layups.
Yeah.
No, so you're just going to discount Isaiah Thomas, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Allen Iverson,
Karl Malone,
Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone,
man,
dude. And then he had the audacity to turn around and say, well, I never watched anybody else. But I'll say this. Part of what KG was talking about, he said they sit there and they dribble the air out of the basketball. I'm going to show a clip in just a second what made Jordan just so great. And this is the reason why when Kobe Bryant said he didn't waste space. This is one video that's going to show you Jordan's greatest, why he don't waste dribbles. He would take, in this clip right here, he only takes one dribble. His pull-up game was so, it was so impeccable, man. His mid-range game was just so impeccable. That's why he's the greatest to me to ever pick up a basketball.
It
This
was
is off of one dribble.
too.
But DA, there's another video that I don't have, but you can go, and search that video where he takes no more than 3 to 4 dribble to get his shot off. But in this league now, you going all this Harlem Globetrotter stuff. But this is Jordan. Check it out, man. Just off his one dribble.
Is that just beautiful, man?
One dribble, my brother. One dribble. Arsenal, man.
It's like as soon as they get down and he coming up. As soon as they reacting to his dribble, he's coming up already.
He's pulling up already, and it's so quick. His first step. I mean, just one dribble. He was a savant of the NBA basketball. He was so smart, man.
Man, he changed the game, bro. He was the ultimate basketball player. If you just put everything together to make a basketball player, it's Jordan.
It would be Michael Jordan. I mean, when I saw this video, man, it really magnified what Kobe Bryant was talking about. Jordan didn't waste space. He didn't waste dribbles. His one dribble step pull-up game was more efficient than Steph Curry sitting there or Hardy sitting there, dribbling the air out the basketball. And that's what they do. So when he made this comment, I'm like, man, it's so many guys that I could talk about that was skilled. Now, when they start talking about athleticism, right? Now, here's my pushback on that. I always say the rim is the same rim. It's 10 feet, right? And we know of a guy who was dunking in high school really at 5'3" in Spud Webb. 5'3". Imagine that back then in the early 80s. Yeah. I say what you have is there's more creativity now. It's the same nobody has broken, even when they go out to the combine every year, nobody has ran a 3.9 in the 40. You just had it broken by the young brother Worthy from Texas breaking John Ross record in the 40. And it was even rumored that Bo Jackson and Dion ran a 4.19. So I'm saying when you say more athleticism, I don't think that's it either. I think it's better. It's more creativity. Yeah. And that's what they always seem to leave out, DA.
Man, I'm telling you, it's the new rules. They're allowed to that gather, take 2 steps way in the other direction. That just okay, I'm gonna go this way. Now I'm gonna hold the ball. Let me think about it. Now I'm gonna go this way. That's all of that's benefiting offensive player. That ain't skill.
I'm telling you, when James Harden, man, coming there with this foolishness, man, I got you locked up. You able to just
take 3 steps over that way.
Your dribble, man.
You can take 1 that way and then 2 that way,
and then 2 steps over there. So you
can actually stop dribbling at half court and do a layup, and it won't be traveling. You can gather, you can take 1, and then you can take 2, and then you have to go. Like you can literally come from half court and do a layup,
Right, man. Right. So now, Ant, man, I'm sorry, you're a young brother. We think you're very talented.
Until Ant shuts up, he's never gonna see his full potential.
And I'll tell you another thing he needs to do. This is going to be imperative, man. He has to become a student of the game. See, what I do respect about LeBron is when he made a statement years ago. He said, "I'll never cheat the game."
Yeah.
He said, "I'll never cheat the game," because he understood the grace that came before him. So when you say something stupid like that, Magic was playing 6'9" as a point guard. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just this.
And played center one game.
I
saw a video of LeBron working with Hakeem. I was like, where did this come from? He was literally working in the gym with Hakeem, was showing him some down low, some post moves. I'm like, man, I didn't know that happened.
And the dream was like that. Yes. Oh my goodness. Baseline.
It's a beautiful thing, Jabril. You need to look it up one day.
Yeah, I believe it is, man. But we had to definitely talk about that, man, because again, man, I think Ant-Man he's definitely trending in the right way to be one of the faces of the league. Man, we got to give a big shout out to our boy Milk, man. Milk is live with us. DA Dexter Dabbin, man.
Chilling.
Wilmer Hunts's former great, my man. He definitely know, man. You talking about a 2-way, 3-way starter? You name it, he could do it. That's Big Brother right there. But big shout out for those who are still coming on.
Is that Dabney?
Yeah. You
Dex-
know, Milk.
Last time I saw him, I
Before that was
rode his
Charles
back.
Barkley, that was Dexter Dabney, man.
I
Ain't no
think the
doubt.
last time I saw him, I hopped on his back, Jabril. We was homecoming or something. I still jumped up on his back.
Hey, that was my bodyguard, man. If I used to come over the house and wake him up. Get up,
Big
man. I
Dex.
want to go work out. Yeah,
Big
man.
Dex.
But it was guys like him and Wilford Sasser, man, and Spud Webb, and and so many guys ahead of us, man. And we saw this, man. We saw dudes, man. Remember when New York came to the Hutch, man? New York was touching the top of the glass, man. So, again, I credit these young guys, these young players, man, for being able to do some things creatively. But these things wasn't asked of those guys. Like when Jordan was talking about shooting the 3-ball, he said it would take away from his game. He said he was a driver and he was always on the attack. But we showed he had mid-range, but he also could shoot the 3 because he did it against Portland, in the NBA finals.
It just wasn't necessary back then.
It just wasn't necessary, man. Just wasn't necessary. So, but it's all good. But man, we got to segue, DA. We can stay on it all day, man. But I had to talk about that and get our, let us put our opine that conversation right there, because I just thought that was crazy for him to say that. But he needs to become a student of the game, and maybe that will help him make more insightful statements, because that definitely wasn't one of them.
Shut up and play.
Yeah, shut up and play. Yeah, no doubt. Well, guys, we got to turn around. We got to segue to something so serious, man, that I just had to talk about. Recently, if y'all saw this on the news channels and maybe even uploaded YouTube and saw it, there was an assistant principal working out at Corsicana High School coming to an aid of another teacher and another student, actually. And this just recently happened. When I first saw this, man, I really thought this was something that took place maybe last year. Maybe I missed it, and they just coming out with maybe a lawsuit or something against the district or whatever. But I want you to listen. Her name is Kendra Rogers, Miss Kendra Rogers. And we got to talk about this, man, because our kids in these high schools and these students, they got to give our teachers, man, better protection, man. But check this out, DA.
Thursday, August 15th, during lunch, I heard our behavioral teacher call on the radio to administrators for assistance. When I arrived, the teacher and students were outside the classroom. One student was holding his head, having been assaulted by the student remaining in the classroom. I entered where the student was still irate and found the room ransacked with overturned furniture. I knew I had to be as calm as possible, and I spoke lowly and slowly so as not to enrage him any further. He picked up a chair and acted as if he would throw it. He finally did throw it at me, but I caught it midair. He picked up another chair to throw at me when another assistant principal entered the room. I used the first chair to block the second. He picked up a third and threw it at the other assistant principal, and I used that initial chair to block the one that he threw at her. After blocking the chair thrown at the other assistant principal, he threw a wooden hanger at me, but I couldn't stop it fast enough. The hanger hit me in my right eye and knocked it out of the socket. I grabbed my face while blood was pouring out of my head and stumbled out of the classroom door.
Wow, man, I had to stop it right there.
That's the first time I seen it, man. I couldn't watch it. That was the first time.
Oh my goodness, bro. Man, I had to stop when she was detailing, giving very detailed, getting a description of what had happened, and just imagining her having to call her husband, her being through flight care taken to Parkland Hospital, and all of that, man. And I just say, when did we lose this much respect? Now, we've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
And every time it seems like, man, every time we take 2 or 3 steps forward, we're taking 4 or 5 steps backwards. This happened August the 15th. School year just starting, getting underway. You got people coming off the summer months, everybody glad, to be back in school, and already you got chaos. So this woman, this teacher who's been in education for nearly 30 years, loses her right eye. Her eye come out of her socket, and she's bleeding, bro. So I'm trying to have a better understanding, things that I pray on, man, things that I ask God about, and things that I try to take upon myself. And you and I talked off air too, DA, about trying to implement, programs, man, so we can, engage with our youth, man, and give them a better train a better life skill. We gotta, you know what we missed, DA?
Yeah.
We missed the boys and girls clubs. And even before they kind of merged those boys clubs and girls clubs, it wasn't boys and girls club when we came in. It was just boys clubs. But we missed that, man, because getting out of school, you can go to the Oak Cliff Boys Club. You can go to Turnkey Boys Club. You can go to West Dallas Boys Club. You can even go to East Dallas Boys Club. And we missed that. And we had those kind of men and women, the Brendas of the world, you know, the Amos of the world, the Georges of the world, and so many others, man, that was able to allow us to be us, but at the same time, give us that structure to kind of corral that energy that we had. I remember when you try to curse around Amo would tell you, hey, stop cursing around me. Stop cursing. He was just, you know, he would flat out tell you that, man.
Yeah.
And we grew up in a time when we understand that the teachers actually, you know, they carried the paddle inside their drawer. You knew that was a certain discipline. You knew that the principal or the assistant principal would come down the hall or peek their nose in the room or whatever. It was just it was just a different time, man. And so to have a situation like this, where this was an intermediate school, you understand? This wasn't even in a high school, but a young person who could not control their emotions or their temper took to something, an act of violence, and caused this woman, man, who's only there to help serve, to lose her eye, man, at this stage, at this late of her career, man. You say what to that, DA?
I couldn't bear to watch it, or I didn't even know what her issue was. I just kept hearing people say, y'all hear about the teacher? What happened to the teacher? And I saw somebody leading her in. I couldn't even bring myself to watch any interviews to see what was wrong with the lady. I just happened to one day see somebody say, oh yeah, you see the guy hit her in the eye with a wooden hanger. And I'm like, what? So it's what you're saying is absolutely true. The only thing that's different now is the kids are different. Like, ain't no more village. You can't spank nobody's kid at school, and you know, you can't discipline your neighbor's child. You know, most parents are a lot younger. Parents got younger and younger and younger, and they also got more and more immature. So they don't even understand. A lot of them ain't even seen what a village means, like we did. You know, we didn't. We knew you had to respect everybody who knew your parents, and it wasn't gonna be no, I'm running to get my parents on you. No, it was, please don't tell my parents. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole
absolutely
different mindset. And a lot of these boys, nobody's teaching them how to not have so many wild emotions. I always teach my boys, they don't they can't play any music around me with profanity in it. Ain't no turning up, ain't no, you know, and you can't curse. I don't curse you out. I coach you, but don't curse around me. I ain't your bro. I ain't no bruh. I ain't none of that. If you can't deal with these rules, like you don't see, and I ask them all the time, you know, sometimes when I have to check them, I say, when y'all see us go in places, when you see us go in a restaurant, do you see me laughing and clowning and acting a fool all loud? And they all like, no. So you can't do that. When you see me in a game, do you see me cussing out the refs and about to fight the other coach? And no, you don't see that. So that's not how you got to learn how to keep your emotions intact. And a lot of young boys ain't been taught that. Like my son 5, he got one too many little frowny faces on his on his little chart. He in kindergarten.
Right.
I read the report. I'm like, close the door, bro. We got some settling up to do. And I must like, he get green is good, you know, then you go to yellow, then you go to red. So it started out green, then I see a couple yellows. I'm like, what's the yellow for? Then the red. When he went to the red, I'm like, okay, let me go and tune him up. So I had to tune his behind up.
Yeah, I've been there. I understand.
What happened? Oh, he's like, I don't know where he get this from. Well, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, you almost got choked right then. But anyway, I handled up on his butt. And from here on out, he running home, showing me the green. Look, Daddy, I got green.
Right.
Yeah, you better keep it up. And you better get green. You know what's gonna happen if you
on.
I give you a yellow every now and then just because you're a kid. But no, don't bring that stuff up in here. And that's where it starts, man. And most kids don't have that, man. They just It's a barbaric nation where you can't even I'm not to where I can't when I'm in somebody's element. I'm going, if a child's out of, I'm like, hey man, chill out. Hey, watch your mouth. That's just me. And then whatever comes with it comes with it. But most people ain't trying, and I get it. Most people ain't trying to fight those battles, man. But it's hard for teachers, man, because the parents haven't been parents for so long. Ain't been doing what we supposed to do. So
well, DA, I definitely concur with you, my brother, because I had to take to my oldest son. But I gave him, they say first the warning, then destruction. And I kept telling him, I said, okay. And I told the teachers, I stopped by the principal office one day and I told him, I said, I'm Mr. Bashar, here go my business card. I own my own business. And call me anytime when it comes to this individual right here. And lo and behold, man, I get a call. And he don't know I'm coming up there, man. I just happen to just stick my nose in the door. I stood up for about probably about 30, maybe 40 seconds. And I just watched and observed. And finally, I said, you, come here.
Yeah.
Marched him right down up to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And look here, when I got to him, man, and I probably hit him on the back of that butt, took my bet off and gave him about 5 good ones. But those was memorable. He'll tell you about that right now. And he almost 28 now today. So I get where you're coming from, my brother. But let me ask y'all in the comment, y'all comment on this right quick. I just want to know, the question is, do y'all think that teachers should carry concealed weapons, better school policing, or put laws into place that will help curtail this behavior? Should teachers carry concealed weapons, get better school policing, or put laws in place that will help curtail this type of behavior? Just come out in the chat for me and let me know what y'all think.
I mean, Jabril, I know what I think. I would, in a high school, like, even you got to be considering that in middle school these days, because the kids in middle school, they're equivalent to high schoolers back in the day. Because when I'm just up there part-time, it's like the girls are even talking,
without question.
I'm like, wait a minute, boys don't even talk like the girls are almost as bad as the boys in some of these schools. So I think that might be a lot of reason, because I've been asked if I wanted to teach and I'm thinking to myself, man, it's hard enough just dealing with what I have now, but I couldn't really see myself. I could just see myself getting in trouble or going to jail behind somebody's kid, or somebody wants to kill me behind their kid, because I don't do disrespect well. So I don't know how well I would be able to handle it. Or maybe they would understand me, and maybe it wouldn't come to that. But I just never trusted myself when it came to, me and the kids full time at a school.
I understand. Well, on that note, man, we're going to see what type of feedback we get on that, but we got to do something, man. We have to put something, put it into place, man, to help, these teachers, man, throughout throughout this school year and throughout the country, because we far too many times we're seeing this. We're seeing, young people snatching wigs off the teacher's head, and and you wonder why we're in the condition that we're in as a whole, as a society.
I got a question for you, Jabril. What do you think that what does throwing a chair entail to you?
Well, I think it's if you throw in a chair,
that's like a weapon, or
I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. That could be criminal. Like in this case, he threw a wooden hanger.
So what would you
cause bodily harm?
You could do as far as a child throwing 2 chairs at you? What do you think your reaction could be? Should be able to up to what?
Well, I think I think there should be definitely when you're engaging in something like that, I think there should be definitely levels to it. I think it's probably different from women, but if you're asking me just as a man, you got one time to sling a chair at me. You got one time. And now every creature knows its own mode of defense. See, this is in scripture. Every creature, God has given them their own mode of defense. So you have the natural propensity, the natural right to defend yourself at whatever level that is. Now, how much force you choose to use may depend on the situation, right?
Yeah.
So it just would depend. This happened at an intermediate, junior high school, or what have you. So it all depends on it. Some of these kids are big kids, especially when you compare them to women. Just like the brother who I think it was on the high school level. He got into it, and this was an actual guy who's supposed to have been doing security. Man, he squared up with the. I don't know if you saw it on the social media, but he squared up with a man and two-piece the security guy. You know what I'm saying? So now you just can't go hire somebody that's gonna turn around and they might smoke. They might be in the car smoking or going on lunch break, drinking a drink or whatever they may be doing. You better be in some kind of have some kind of training, some type of UFC, mixed martial arts, something that's gonna help you. You know,
taser or something.
at night. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, DA. So we won't be able to cover it all, and hopefully they'll take a look at this because I think she's going to be suing the state. Of course, that was the whole reason for the conference and everything. The media that she discussed about funding and things of this nature. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying because I know it's going to come out, man. Because they got to be able to promote respect for these teachers who
especially in a behavioral class. That's the key. That's going to be the key right there. This was not just
well, they do have alternative schools, and actually I was trying to get over to one in Garland. I don't know if you remember Coach Rodrigo Barnes back in the day. He coached up at Wimbledon. He passed away now, man. I just missed having an opportunity to go speak with him about some things, but I do have alternative school. It's just I think we just gotta first it starts in the home. It definitely starts in the home. And parents got to be parents again, like you just stated. Start at the very beginning. All this stuff, man, trying to sugarcoat it and wash it down, and that's not gonna get it done. It's not gonna work, man. But we got to segue, DA, and wrap this show. We got two more things we need to cover real quick, man. We got to get to this segment, man, regarding the NFL cuts. CeeDee Lamb's got his money, as we understand, $136 million. I think he got close to $100 million guaranteed. We'll see what happened with that. Dallas Cowboys did sign Dalvin Cook. I think that's going to upgrade the running game. If he can get back to being that Dalvin Cook that we know from Florida State, we'll see how that go. But what's your take so far, man, on the cut down across the board? And what do you think this signing of CeeDee Lamb does to help bolster the Dallas Cowboys offense?
Yeah, they needed him, man. You wasn't gonna win 5 games without CD this year. You gotta have him. Y'all wasn't even gonna make the playoffs without him because he is basically the offense. He's what's gonna allow even the other players to get balls. You know, when he's being doubled and tripled and what special defenses being put out there for him, he's gonna allow somebody else to shine. Without him, everybody's just an average, below average NFL wide receiver lineup group. So it's not going to help our situation with Ayuk, but
he's still out.
Yeah, but he's showing up. He's practicing though.
He's practicing. Okay, yeah. I think okay.
Yeah, he's actually he was just showing up. Now it's preparation, for the game. He's actually taking part, so he'll be fine, man. Even if he don't get his money. It ain't like he ain't under contract.
Game checks.
It ain't like he ain't got a contract. You have a contract, so I get it. But it's you're in the. He's not disposable, but the 49ers usually don't really in a position like that. They don't usually let people kind of bully them around because they know, like they're creating somebody right now to take his spot. Or if not, they just go out and get somebody. So, but anyway, I'm always glad when the brothers get their bread. I just don't know why Cowboys always wait till the price is way up here to pay them. Like that's going to affect you signing somebody else. You could have signed that dude 3 months ago, and been giving him $28 million a year. Now you got to give him 35. So don't make sense.
But the jury's still out on Dak Prescott. I know he'll get his money. One way.
He ain't getting it this year.
No, I don't. I'll be surprised if he does.
He's out of Dallas after this year.
Somebody will pay him $60 million a year, but I'm just I tell you can't compare Dak Prescott to which one? Maybe a Tua or one of the quarterbacks they signed early, simply because we have 8 years body of work to compare it to. Them guys that they're like Trevor Lawrence, excuse me. They're just now coming to the extent. You see what I'm saying? So. Dak Prescott, we got 8 years of body of work to compare it to. So I'm sitting there saying maybe Jerry knows something we don't know. Maybe he's going to try to maneuver next year's 2025 draft and going to get Shedeur Sanders. I don't know. But we're going to get to see how the season started out for the Colorado Buffaloes in just a few minutes here. And before we do that, we got a segue before we leave out of here, man. It's not the NFL weekend because the NFL weekend don't start until next week, but it is college football weekend, man. And we got 5 games that we gonna pick, and we're gonna start it out, man, with the Clemson, Georgia. Who you like in that game right there, DA?
I like Georgia. I ain't really like Clemson since Trevor left. So I'm gonna roll with Georgia on that one.
Okay, you rolling with Georgia. I'm gonna roll with Georgia too. So then we got LSU and USC. Who you like?
Give me LSU.
You like LSU?
Yeah, I'll take LSU.
They lost a lot, man. They lost Neighbors and them boys, man. That receiver. But
I guarantee they got
lost Caleb Williams too. That's gonna be a good one, man.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take LSU on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with you on that too. Ooh, man. I tell you what. Now I'm gonna go with LSU. I want to go with USC, but I'm gonna go with LSU. All right. Well, next up, man, we got Notre Dame. They will be traveling to Texas A&M, playing down in the 12th man in College Station. Who you like in that game?
Give me the 12th man.
You like A&M?
Yeah. If they playing at Notre Dame, I may take Notre Dame, but I'll take the 12th man this week.
Okay. New coach. I'm gonna take Notre Dame, man.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna break away. I'm gonna take.
I thought you were just gonna take all my picks if they're for a minute.
I like to take chances. I told y'all that before, man. I'm gonna take chances, man. I think Notre Dame still got their coaching staff in place. But we'll see. I'm rooting for A&M, man. I know Booker. If he was here right now, I know who he got. He'll definitely say Texas A&M.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, I hope A&M win. I'm just going. You know, like I said, I'm going with Notre Dame because I think they. You know, this is a new year for Texas A&M and their coaching staff. So we'll see what happens. And so then we got Colorado tonight's game that we're gonna be getting to in just a second. Colorado and North Dakota State University. Who you like in that game?
Man, I want to pick North Dakota State so bad, but
So bad.
I just think Colorado is just going to be too fired up. They're not in Colorado, are they?
No, they're not in Colorado. They playing down in North Dakota.
A lot of black out there. I'm watching the pregame. Sure, a lot of Colorado fans. It's almost half and half, almost. I'm rolling with Colorado on the road. I think
roll with Colorado. I got Colorado. I got Colorado also. I'm not gonna go against Prime in the season open. At least he went down last year and knocked off TCU.
They going 500 this year, so I give him this. This one of his. All right.
Well, last but not least, man, we got Colorado State travels to Texas. Man, they playing them down in Austin this weekend. Who you like in that game?
Oh man, that's easy. Texas.
You got Texas. I'll take Texas also, man. So that's going to conclude, man. The replay. Sports Culture Show, where we still trying to make your day. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share button for us. Again, we still growing the channel. We got over 155 subs, and we're climbing up the hill. It's a slow process, but we'll get it.
And the kickoff.
And they just kicked off?
Just kicked off.
Okay, then. Well, guys, we're going to let you get to that. That's why we started this early. Normally, we on from Tuesdays and Thursdays to 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So we want to thank y'all for joining us. Again, we can't do this without you guys, so look out for us, and we'll bring y'all more and more content. This has been the Replayed Sports Culture Show with your host, Jabril Rashad, and co-host, Daryl Alexander the Great. Good evening. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and be safe this weekend. Peace and love.
Peace. Look at T.O. on the side.